Hello friends, I am so glad you could take some time to join me today. Since I've heard from a number of you that eyeshadow application can be a bit of a challenge, I'm excited to share with you today some easy and really quick eyeshadow looks using products that work especially well for those of us with mature eyes, cream and liquid eyeshadows. Cream and liquid eyeshadow products can be wonderful for those of us who are over 50 because these formulations glide over and often disguise texture. They blend out easily, and because of their creamy texture, they can be hydrating, which creates a smoother texture as well. These products can also help us create a one-step out-the-door beautiful look. A warm welcome to those of you who are returning to my channel, and a special welcome to those of you who are here for the very first time. My name is Elise, and as a makeup artist who specializes in helping those of us over 50, I love sharing makeup tips, techniques, and product information that can help us look our very best now. We all know that just a few things have changed over the last few decades, and the makeup techniques that worked so well for us in our 20s and 30s have lost just a little bit of their luster and effectiveness. So adjusting the techniques and products that we use can make a world of difference for us now. As one woman recently said, it's been wonderful to peel away the layers and reveal the best possible me. 50 definitely does not have to be the end of fun with makeup. So if you're interested in weekly tips and techniques that work for us at this stage of our lives, I hope you'll join our wonderful family of subscribers by tapping that red subscribe button. And if you'd also like to know each time a new video is available, also tap the bell icon below the video and to the right to ensure that you're notified each week. And I thank you so much if you decide to do so. All right. Let's go ahead and focus on today's topic, some quick and easy eyeshadow techniques using cream and liquid eyeshadows. We'll first focus on the tools that we need and the different kinds of products. Second, we'll go over how to blend cream eyeshadows as well as how to sheer them out. Third, I'll demonstrate step by step how to apply these shadows for a quick daytime look and what we can do to amp up the look if we choose to do so. Fourth, I'll cover how to fix any mistakes, and fifth, I'll mention some recommended products. So first, let's talk about the tools we need and the different types of products. And this is the easy part. All you need are two synthetic brushes and your finger. Synthetic brushes don't absorb as much product, so it's possible to get better coverage and color payoff when we use them. The synthetic brush also allows us to get more coverage with just one layer of product. Usually a flat brush like the one I'll show you works very well. Here's a bigger and a smaller flat brush that can work very well. One of them is a concealer brush and the other is a flat eyeshadow brush. The other brush we need is a fluffy synthetic brush that's a size that works well in the size of our particular crease area. This is the one that I'm going to go ahead and be using. The warmth of our finger will help the creams or liquids really meld into our skin. And if we have oily eyelids, we may also want to apply an eyeshadow primer first to prevent creasing and to help the eyeshadows stay in place even longer. As far as types of products, there are creams that come in a stick form, creams that come in pots, and let me show you some of those creams in pots. Here's one from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is a gorgeous rose gold color. And here's another one from Charlotte Tilbury, which is a beautiful copper. There are also liquids that come with an applicator tip. Here are some examples of liquids from the brand Armani. And these are the kind of applicator tips that these liquid products have. And there are also liquids that come in a squeeze tube. In addition, there are cream to powder formulations such as ColourPop Super Shock eyeshadows. Here's an example of one of the ColourPop products. And this is actually a highlighter from ColourPop in the Super Shock formula, but it works very well on the eyes too. And all of these different products can come in a matte, shimmer, or metallic formulation. In fact, let me show you this beautiful shimmer formulation from e.l.f. Number 2, let's focus on how to blend cream or liquid eyeshadow formulations. It's important to completely finish one eye before moving on to the other eye, since cream eyeshadow can dry down very quickly. In fact, some dry down very quickly, and with others we have more playtime before they dry down. So it's always a good idea to test the product first to see how quickly the product dries down, because once it sets or dries down, you really can't move it or diffuse it. The only exception is cream to powder formulas, which sometimes are possible to diffuse. Use a very small amount of product and start on the inner part of the eyes at the base of the eyelid close to the lashes. Apply the product with a brush or a finger and then work upward using a short patting motion. And if applying just one color, it can sometimes just be easier to use our finger. It's really a matter of personal preference. Then go up into the crease, and if using more than one color, start with the darker color. When diffusing the color, it's really easier to diffuse lighter colors into darker colors. And to diffuse the color at the edges, use a fluffier synthetic brush and move the brush in tight circles. We can also use the edge of our fingers to gently move the eyeshadow in the direction that we want it to go. Since cream and liquid eyeshadow can not only vary from formula to formula, but also from shade to shade within a brand's formula, it's always a good idea to experiment with our application method when trying a new product. Now for number 3, the actual application of the eyeshadows. I'm going to take a very small amount of a cream product from a pot with a plastic spatula and wipe a little on the back of my hand first so I don't get too much product on my eye area. Then I'll work very quickly from my lash area up toward my eyebrow and into my crease. I'm going to use a brush to apply the eyeshadow and then smooth it out with my finger. And if you have hooded eyes, you want to go above the crease as far as you need to in order for the eyeshadow to actually show up. I've already applied eye primer, as you can see, and I'm going to put a cream eyeshadow on one eye and a liquid eyeshadow on the other eye. I'm going to start with this rose gold color from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm going to scoop a little bit out with this little spatula. So I just put a little bit on the back of my hand and I'm going to pick it up with a brush and then start my application process. And I'm only putting a little bit on. And I'm going to start on the inner corner right by the lash area and then just gently smooth it across. Now again, you could be just using your finger if you choose to do so. I'm just going to start off with a brush and I'm going to go slightly above my crease because I do have hooded eyes. And that's really all there is to it. I'm just going to add a little bit more just to go a little bit deeper. So I'm just putting another layer on and smoothing it all the way across. Now this may be all that you want to do. All you need to do is put on a little mascara and we've created a quick and easy out the door look. Or you can amp up the look in several different ways. First, make sure the cream or liquid eyeshadow is thoroughly dry, which usually doesn't take long at all. And then you can take your favorite mid-tone powder eyeshadow or a bronzer and apply it in your crease and slightly above the crease. Now before I use the powder shadow, I'm going to go ahead and use this liquid and put this in the crease and slightly above. It's a little bit deeper color. And I know I said earlier that you should start with darker and go lighter, but I'm going to bend my own rules and I'm going to go ahead and just try a little bit in the crease and above, see what it looks like. Because this doe foot applicator is a little bit on the large side and I'm going to put it in a smaller area, the crease area, I'm going to go ahead and put some on the back of my hand and then I'll pick it up with a brush and apply it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this brush to just put a little bit in the crease area and above, and as you can see, it just gives a little bit more definition to this eye area. So I'm putting a liquid on top of a cream and it's working beautifully, but I just made sure that the cream was dry before doing this. And as you can see, that just gives a little bit of added definition to that eye area. And that was quick and easy as well. On the other eye, I'm going to use this liquid product on the lid area. And because I have more space in the lid area, I'm just going to go ahead and use this applicator tip. Starting inward, and I'm working my way up. And then I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to blend the edges out, just so I don't have a harsh line at the edge. As you can see, that's a much lighter color. And then I'm going to play with some different kinds of eyeshadow, powder shadows. So I'm going to close my eyes for a minute and I'm going to let that thoroughly dry. So I want to do something in the lavender color arena. So I have two different eyeshadow palettes I'm going to be working from for powder eyeshadow. The first is this Sigma Enchanted palette. And in this palette, there's a lovely color called Moonglade, which is more of a metallic color. And then I'm also going to be using another palette from Sigma called their Untamed palette. As you can see, there are a couple of beautiful violet colors here, one called Fierce and one called Moxie. So I'm pretty sure this is dried, and I'm going to go ahead and start with Moxie from the Untamed palette from Sigma in the crease area of my eye. I'm going to go ahead and apply that in the crease and slightly above the crease. Apply a little bit more, and then I'm going to take my brush after I've applied most of the shadow. I'm going to carry it up so there's a lighter color as I go up because there's less product on my brush. Then I'm taking the deeper color called Fierce, and I'm just going to go on the outer edge of my eye, and I'm going to do it in the outer V. Now again, I could just deepen up the crease a little bit with this color and stop there, but I'm going to add a little bit in my outer V to give a little bit more of a dramatic look. Then I'm going to take my brush and just blend those colors in. Now I'm going into the Enchanted palette, and I'm taking that Moonglade color, which is more of a metallic, and I'm going to just put a little bit of that here on the corner as well. I might as well play with all of these gorgeous lavender colors. Now just for the fun of it, I'm going to take the glitter shadow from e.l.f. and I'm going to apply a little bit of that in the center of my lid. This has a relatively small applicator tip, so I'm just going to carry it up in the middle. And I think you can see the difference that that makes. Now to create even more delineation on the eye, I'm going to apply a little bit of the powder, or you could do this with the cream as well, on the bottom outer third of the lash area and connect it to the outer V. If you use cream eyeshadow for this, it's sometimes helpful to apply a little powder over it because the cream can sometimes smear the mascara underneath. I'm combining Moxie and Fierce from the Untamed palette, and I'm just going to go underneath this eye and bring that up to meet the outer V. And I'm going to use just a little bit more, a little bit deeper on the very outer corner. Now, just to have some fun with this, I'm going to take a beautiful blue color from the Untamed palette and add a little bit of that at the outer V. I'm going to be using this color called Dauntless. And just putting a little bit of that at the outer corner and into the crease area. Just setting it down. I'm going to put a little bit on the outer corner of the eye as well to sort of carry over that color. Make sure they connect and then do some blending. I can't resist a gorgeous blue, I have to confess. I'm going to go ahead and add some eyeliner and mascara, and I'll be right back. So I've gone ahead and added eyeliner as well as mascara, and on this eye I used a cobalt blue eyeliner. On this eye I used brown eyeliner. Let me give you a chance to look at the final look. Oh, and one other thing, I also made one additional addition. I couldn't help myself. I also took this highlighter from ColourPop called Flexitarian, and I took just a little bit of that on my finger, and I put that in the center as well as on the inner corner of my eye. And by the way, if you know from the get-go that you want to amp up a look, some people prefer to put the powder eyeshadow on first and then apply the cream. Others like to apply the cream first, but if you do apply the cream first, it's important to make sure it thoroughly dries before applying the powder. It's also important to be aware that some cream or liquid formulas can flake off with too much blending, which is why it can be helpful to apply the powder eyeshadow first. So this is another good reason to do some experimentation ahead of time. Let me give you a final look at these two eyes. Now on to number 4, how to fix common mistakes. The wetter the formula is, the longer it will take to dry. And how wet it is depends on how dense it is and how pigmented it is. So if the eyeshadow has happened to crease, just take your fluffy brush or your fingertip and pat it down, and then keep your eyes closed until it's thoroughly dried. And you can always apply a very small amount of translucent powder or powder that matches your skin tone over the cream or liquid product to make sure that it doesn't crease. Another thing that may cause a problem is that sometimes the applicator on a liquid eyeshadow can be quite large and deposit too much product. So it can sometimes be helpful, as you saw me do, to apply some product to the back of your hand and then apply the product with your fingertip. And now let's talk about some recommended products. Just about every brand makes a liquid or cream eyeshadow formula, and some drugstore products that can work really well are ones from e.l.f., Revlon, Maybelline, and ColourPop's Super Shock cream to powder formulas, as you saw. Some wonderful higher-end products include one from Hourglass, Tom Ford, Stila, Charlotte Tilbury, and Kosas. I'll put all the names of those brands in the description box below. As you've seen, cream and liquid eyeshadows can be really versatile. It's possible to create a lovely one-and-done, quick and easy eyeshadow look, as I did with this eye with cream and liquid products, or you can apply creams or liquids for a subtle touch of glamour, or apply them along with powder eyeshadow. And we did both of those last two things on this eye. So if you don't feel confident applying powder eyeshadow, or you just want a very quick and easy eyeshadow look, I hope you'll give cream and liquid eyeshadows a try. I also hope that you'll give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please let us know in the comments section below if you've ever used cream or liquid eyeshadow. And if you have, please share the names of those products with us that you really like the most. I hope you join me again next Thursday for another video, but in the meantime, I'm sending you warm wishes for a happy, peaceful, and fabulous rest of your day. Take care.